Hello, everyone, and welcome to the best and worst of Walt Disney World, brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel and Disboards.com. I am your host, Rhino Clavin, and in this week's episode, we're going to be talking about Craig Williams' top 5 worst attractions for him, personally, at Walt Disney World. And to have this discussion, we've got Mr. Steve Porter.
Hello.
And, of course, Craig Williams.
Buckle up, weirdos. This one's going to be a good one.
All right. That should be your new opening catchphrase for everything. Buckle up, weirdos. I want that on a T-shirt with a seatbelt. So yeah, we did your top 5 best attractions, and I'm ready to see what Craig thinks are his least favorite. I'm pretty sure I know some of these on the list, but
you don't know any of them on the list.
Oh,
but you got it, baby. We can roll with that one. Are we going to do the same guessing game as
I think we should.
time?
Steve, what do you think is Craig's least favorite attraction?
Hey, bets on it.
You go first. I'm not sure. This is a lot harder.
Well, I bet it's something everyone loves. That's the thing.
I'm gonna say Primeval World.
I was going to say I bet it's something I love. So I could see that, though. I could see that Primeval World would be in there. But I'm trying to think. I don't know. Oh, gosh, this is hard. I was going to say he probably hates Dinosaur, but I think it's Primeval World.
No, and I will go ahead and clear this from the list right now. I do not have Primeval World on my list. Because it's not, to me, it's not something that is a least favorite or something I hate. It doesn't exist in my brain. Like, I don't even acknowledge it. I pass by it, but I don't acknowledge it. So of the things that I sometimes have to do or am forced to do, these are my least favorite of those ones.
I definitely know one on your list.
Well, maybe, but so you both got number 5 wrong.
What park?
Magic Kingdom.
Oh.
Well, let him.
Yeah, tell us, I guess, yeah.
So this one is with the asterisk because I am currently not a parent, so I am not anywhere near in the demographic for this, and I think that's why I'm uncomfortable every time I have to go in there, and that is Enchanted Tales with Belle. I appreciate the show for what it is.
I can see that.
I think it is a very entertaining show, but anytime I walk in there, even with my wife or friends, I feel uncomfortable in the room. It's kind of like how I've said with something like with Turtle Talk with Crush, where it's like you want to be involved in it, except it's clearly meant for kids, so you just feel uncomfortable. With me, with Enchanted Tales with Belle, it like recognizes like, yes, this is for kids, but we're gonna try to get the adults involved too. And I am sorry, I don't want to be a knight. Every time I walk into that room, it's like, hey, you 6-foot tall man with a beard, would you like to be a knight? And like, no, I'm gonna film this. I'm gonna do something.
I'm gonna film all the children.
Yeah, I look for any excuse. I swear, I have not gone in there a single time where they didn't try to make me be the knight. The first time I did it, I went in and I was like, I do need to film this. If I come back, I will be the knight. And I came back and I was the knight. And every time since they've tried to get me to do it, I will not do it. I don't want to be
my
a knight.
first experience with that was when my brother came down with my nephew and his girlfriend's daughter, Clara, and they were selected. And Uncle Ryan, I'm a plate! Because she talked like a Muppet at that time for some reason, but she was so excited about being a plate. But then my brother is very, a little socially awkward, and he had to be in the thing too. And I thought, like, man, for anybody that's got a lot of social anxiety, not only is the kid aspect of that, but it is the participation aspect of that too. So it's like, I could totally see that.
One day, if I am lucky enough to have a child, whether it is or even a niece or nephew that I'm there with, whether it's it doesn't matter if they're a boy or girl, whatever, because I think it can be enjoyed by all. But until then, I don't think I'm in the right demographic for this. But it's something that I do find myself doing on occasion. And it is agonizing every time I do it. So that's why I had to put it on as one of my worst. But again, with that mindset of, I know it's not for me, and it could be one day, but I'm not telling you don't go into it. If you are if you're a male in their 30s without kids and potentially by yourself, I'm telling you not to go do it. So anyways, number 4.
Is it at
No, we
Y'all-
can't, no, you
Hollywood
can't do that.
Studios. Oh,
No, y'all aren't even going to guess this one.
Rock and Roller Coaster.
No.
Test track.
Oh my God, Steve guessed it. Never mind.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so this should come as a shock to many because I've said before I worked at Test Track. That's not the reason why I don't like Test Track. It's because I hate this
new.
iteration of Test Track.
I mean, the Tron wannabe?
Yeah, essentially.
Tronaby? No.
Tronaby.
It's like, and I know
Funny.
It's kind of weird because I said with the roller coaster part of it, when I was talking about Expedition Everest, when I was talking about that, I was saying, you take away all the effects, everything. Is it still a good roller coaster? Yeah, it still is. And in a sense, it should be the same thing with Test Track. It's like, well, is it a cool layout and the speeding up and slowing down, what you're doing with that and the final thing at the end? It should be like, well, you can really take anything in there and it could still be entertaining. But for some reason, it's just not.
It's like an empty black warehouse with neon lights.
Yeah, and even though you're still running like the same test as before and you're still doing the same kind of motions, it's just in that different way that it really feels like it went from having a story, a dumb story at that, but a story, to now just a shell of what it used to be. And really the only exciting part of it is the end launch at 65 miles per hour, 64.8, 0.9, depending on what your car gets up to. It's just, it has no appeal for me. And even like, so if you don't have a fast pass and it's at its normal length, I'm not waiting anything more than 20 minutes for Test Track. For me, that's too much after that. And I'm not going single rider. And then because take away right there, it's like, okay, well, I can get on quicker. But now you took away the one bit of joy that I had is riding with someone that I like beside me. Now I have to ride with a stranger. It's just, it's not for me anymore. Old Test Track could have potentially been on my top 5 that I realized after we were done that I probably would have switched out. I would have really changed up my list and switched out Splash Mountain for Muppet Vision 3D.
I was very surprised Muppet Vision did not make it in your top list. To be honest with you.
Literally forgot about it.
Yeah, because I was about to make a joke about when you were like my least favorite, and I was like, he hates the Muppets.
No, I Muppet Vision probably would have been my top 5 if I would have thought about it, and we're not going to re-record it. So I feel like I have this asterisk on here.
It's going to eat him alive for quite some time.
I will make the highlighted comment on YouTube that a retraction of my entire list. So, but so Test Track, no more to say about that. Number 3, what is it? Rhino, do not ask which park it's in.
Is it okay?
I keep switching to Steve every time I say
I think I know his number 1. I think I figured out his number 1, so I'm just like holding off on that.
So you think you know his least favorite attraction?
I think so.
Home. I think it's Rock and Roller Coaster.
No.
The Belle Beauty and the Beast show in Hollywood Studios.
No. No. And sorry, partially with this too, while I do think that show's awful, and like, I do think that we already talked about Primeval World are awful. They were also like ones that we really touched upon on your list. So I wanted to think about the ones that like, not to try to keep those off. Obviously, no, I don't mind imagination. I wanted to think about the things for me like that aren't universally bad, but the ones that I think are personally bad. And my number 3 goes along with my number 5 in a way that it's just not for me, but I could probably suffer through it if I had a kid one day. And that's Barnstormer.
Oh, yeah, and I have been on Barnstormer with you. I've seen the pain you go through.
Yeah.
When you got out of the ride before it was done moving.
I can't fit in it. Like I can fit. I can't fit comfortably. It's like it's literally it's a squeeze to get me in because I carry most of my height in my legs.
Well, and they make him go with somebody else too.
Oh, yeah.
I was in line with him, and they clearly can see how tall he is, and they're like, okay, you two in this row. And it was like we were hips to hips in that one.
Yeah, I don't fit in. So I would suffer through it one day again when I have a kid, or if I have to get like an updated ride through or something like that, I'll put up with it. But until then, it's like no, You're not
so short.
I get that it needs to be designed to be kid friendly, but at the same time too, I think you need to look at it to design it to be adult friendly as well.
Well, yeah, who's going on with the kid?
Exactly.
Especially if the kid's under 7 and it needs an adult with them the other person when the kid's under 7 has to be like, I think older than 14 or something like that.
And I'm not happy about my weight, but I can't, like, my main problem with the attraction is my height. If I had the weight element into it too, it would be just as bad. So it's not great. But what's my number 2?
I'm gonna say Laugh Floor.
Oh, that's a good one. I know he doesn't like. I know he likes Turtle Talk.
Bruh.
Bruh.
Catch a wave, bruh.
Sir Sup. I don't.
Dude, I'm gonna stop you right here.
I don't know.
Steve already got it.
Yeah, that's what I thought you did. That's why I'm not gonna guess.
And I'm confident Steve already knows my number 1 too. I've been very adamant about how much I dislike it before.
I know what it is.
What park is it in?
Animal Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
I know what it is.
Wait, the number. Okay, all right.
Well, let's go
talk
over
about
this
number
one,
2.
guys.
Talk about
Okay,
number 2.
so Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. Again, one that we've kind of shined on before. I used to love this show, and then I saw it 3 times, and I've not seen a different show since then. And to me, it's the type of show that needs to be different in order to have repeatability to it. When the only thing that really changes is the people they pick on in the audience, that's not enough of a change for me. It's, and I think if it was truly funny jokes all of the time, I could be more on board. Like, I can watch an episode of Seinfeld 2 million times and still laugh at the same jokes, but that's because they're
making me thirsty.
It's because they're solid jokes. But there's a reason why I don't rewatch Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
How dare you?
Because some stuff is not funny. And it might have been funny the first time.
How dare you?
It might have been funny the first time, but it just doesn't. It's not funny for those repeat ones, and that's Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor for me. And I know it's. I guess you can look at like the slow ride, the dark ride attraction in Disneyland and say, well, maybe we need the monsters to be involved like that. I don't, but even that one's not perfect. I'm not sure what the perfect way is to bring Monsters Inc. to life in Disney parks. But I think Monsters Inc. is important to have in. It's one of the most underrated Pixar movies, and it's really heartwarming.
I don't know what
it's just not believable.
Tomorrowland either. I don't like that.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with it. But I do. I love Monsters Inc. I can't suffer through the Laugh Floor.
The frustrating thing about the Laugh Floor is you're supposed to text in your jokes, and they still seem to use like the same 5 or 6, like hoping that they're going to get 5 or 6, like the how do you make a tissue dance? You put a little boogie in it. That one's like used all the time. If you text that in, it's almost a guarantee that you're going to get the shout out for that. And the only time when I worked there that the shows were actually funny is when, like Craig said, when they have the audience participation, when that goes wrong and like maybe someone doesn't speak English or they didn't hear the joke or they didn't hear and there's just like a communication error in some way and it goes awry. I think that's when it can get interesting.
I agree, but I don't want to do it over and over again to find out if it gets interesting.
It's Finding Nemo the musical.
No.
Up, A Great Bird Adventure.
Oh yeah, you hate birds. Duh.
No.
Oh.
You're both wrong. Oh,
so
man.
confident.
Oh, it's tough to be a bug.
No.
What the heck don't you like in Animal Kingdom? The safari?
Cali River Rapids.
I don't like how you think about Primeval World not existing. I never even walked to that part of the park because it's that weird off area.
I was so sure that it was. You hate Up, A Bird Adventure or whatever.
I do, but it's just I don't.
He hates birds.
I would still, if you really told me like, oh, do you want to go watch Up, A Great Big Bird Adventure? At least at the end of the day, I can say, well, I do love the movie Up. It's my wife and I's movie together, so I can appreciate that at least. But Cali River Rapids, you basically would have to drag me on there kicking and screaming. I don't want to do it. I used to do it all the time when I would come as a tourist, because I feel like that's what these kind of rides are definitely appealing towards, is people who don't get to ride very many raft rides. But there's definitely one superior raft ride already over at Universal that is so far superior to Cali that it's not even a question. Like it's not that I don't care about getting wet, because I'll get wet if it's for a good reason. But to me, Cali, it's not good. It's never been good. It's not exciting. Oh, I'm floating through a forest that's been set on fire. Conservation.
Oh, you know what? That's fun
blah.
to do that too. So I the first time I ever rode that, I think I've only ridden it like twice, but was the month before I moved here. I moved here in September, so it was in the middle of August, and I waited 90 minutes to go on this ride, not knowing what it was, because I had very little experience with Animal Kingdom at that point in my life, and I got on it, and I did not get wet at all. And I remember thinking, this ride has a burning tree. It's 110 degrees outside right now. Who designed a ride in Florida to have fire outside while I'm already strapped down in the sun, teasing me of water next to me? And I was the only one who didn't get wet.
Yeah, well, it happens very often. It's more people that don't get wet on Cali River Rapids than do get wet. And that's the problem I have with these type of raft rides that kind of go easy on it, because I feel like if they acted like Universal and said, you know what, we're going to make sure that everyone walks off this ride drenched, then so many people would complain. Like, I didn't want to get soaked. I just wanted to get wet. Like, okay, that makes sense. But the same stuff you just said there, it holds zero appeal at all for me. I think it takes up way too much space. I think it's probably, I don't have scientific facts on this, but I have to imagine that it's incredibly wasteful pumping all of that water through there, even if it is reclaimed or whatever. At least when you use that much water for Splash Mountain, you're actually getting some enjoyment out of it, or Pirates of the Caribbean, or Small World. With this one, I feel like they're just wasting it because it's a terrible attraction, and I'm sticking by it. And I stick by it the same way I stick by Muppet Vision Beat 3D being number 5 on my best list, even though it's not there.
Dang, I'm so bummed that I thought I knew it for sure.
There you have it. That is Craig Williams' top 5 worst attractions at Walt Disney World for himself. Feel free to weigh in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube. But thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. We'll be back again with another episode of the best and worst of Walt Disney World. Bye.